Greetings, you pale bears. I hope you are doing well. My name is Graham, and this is the Crack-A-Pack here on LRRMTG. I am also pale. Strictly speaking, I don't think I qualify as a bear, but I'll leave that up to you to decide. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Today, we are opening a pack of Ice Age, which has no indication of its origin point, except from the far-off year of 1995. Ice Age was the first Magic that I ever bought, and then I stopped playing for a very long time. I bought a starter of Ice Age, which was like a 60-card box of just all kinds of different stuff, and I didn't realize that that wasn't a deck that you could play. I mean, you could, but it was 5-color bad. Wouldn't recommend doing that. So if you ever time travel back to 1995, don't accidentally try to play a game of Magic with a starter deck. That's definitely the most important thing to remember if you ever time travel back to 1995. Let's get into this. The older packs have slightly thinner... they feel different. Anyway, we have... I also have no idea... I realize now I have no idea what the rare is, of course, so I guess we'll figure out as we go. The first card I see is Withering Wisps. Withering Wisps. 1 black for an enchantment. Oh no. At the end of any turn, if there are no creatures in play, bury Withering Wisps. And for 1 black mana, Withering Wisps deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. You cannot spend more black mana in this way each turn than the number of snow-covered swamps you control. What an odd caveat to ride on the end of that. Okay. Sure. It's not good, but yeah, all right, sure. Centaur Archer. Wow. Wow, this is some classic Melissa Benson art here. 1 red-green for a 3/2 Centaur Archer, presumably. The card's name is Centaur Archer, and I know that they did a big Oracle change, and basically any card with a bow or that was called an archer or something about archery was changed to be an archer. So I'm pretty sure that this is name Centaur Archer, creature type Centaur Archer. And it's a 3/2, did I say that? I was very distracted by the Centaur Archer, which is also challenging to say. Tap it to deal 1 damage to target creature with flying. Sure. Why not? It's okay. Next, we have Soldavi Simulacrum, who looks like Angry Mark Hamill. 4 mana for an artifact creature. You'd be forgiven for not thinking it was an artifact creature because it looks like Angry Mark Hamill. For a 2/4 with cumulative upkeep of 1. So the first time you pay 1, and then the next turn you pay 2, and the next turn you pay 3, all to keep this 2/4 artifact creature in play. And it has like sort of fire breathing. Is 1 generic mana to give the creature +1/+0 until end of turn. The flavor text is, they look human until they bleed. Which I think it's meant to look like his left arm has turned into ice. I think that's what's meant to be. So they don't bleed. Then, flavor text writer, they don't bleed. They turn into ice. I can't get over how much this looks like Angry Mark Hamill. Next we have Mesmeric Trance. 1 blue for an enchantment, with a cumulative upkeep of 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. And for a single blue mana, discard a card from your hand to draw a card. So it's a 3 mana blue enchantment that gets more expensive every turn that you pay 1 blue mana to rummage. With art featuring very obviously someone the artist knows. Or perhaps Dan Fraser himself. I don't know what it is, but sometimes on Magic cards, it's like, oh, okay, that's like a human. And sometimes it's like, that's a specific human who exists in the world. This is clearly pulling from a reference of a real person who exists. Unlike Rhyme Dryad. Single green mana for a 1/2 Dryad with Snow-Covered Forest Walk. So if you are in green and your opponent is also in green and playing a snow deck, you're clear sailing. Otherwise, you've just put a Squire in your deck, which I wouldn't recommend. That card's bad. Burnt Offering is next. It's a single black mana for an interrupt featuring a picture of a wicker man. Sacrifice a creature to add that creature's casting cost in any combination of red and or black mana to your mana pool. You know, that actually seems not terrible, in that it seems very abusable. Yeah, all right. Sure, Burnt Offering, you're weird. But fine. Next, we have Giant Growth, single green mana for an instant. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Now, I don't wish to judge artwork too harshly. So this is purely a critique, because the art on this card by L.A. Williams is a beautiful rendering of a dragonfly. From an artistic direction perspective, it's just a dragonfly. So I think the implication is that it's a very, very big dragonfly because the card is Giant Growth. But there's no frame of reference. So it's just a dragonfly with like a cool red background. Maybe like a person, or like a cat or something, to indicate that this dragonfly is now uncomfortably large for an insect. It's just a picture of a dragonfly. I cast dragonfly. All right. Whoa, speaking of art, there's some Magic art from this era that's really burrowed in there. Oh, maybe an awkward turn of phrase for this particular one. Mind Ravel, 2 and a black for a sorcery with absolutely wild art from Mark Tadine. Target player chooses and discards a card from his or her hand. Ignore this ability if that player has no cards in hand. I'm glad they mentioned it. Draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. So they pitch a thing, and then you get to draw a card at the beginning of their upkeep because this is a sorcery, but if they don't have any cards in hand, they don't have to do it. If they don't have cards in hand, do you not get to draw? Is that what this says? No. Surely not. I imagine the Oracle text is just target player discards a card and then draw a card. This card is medium. Orcish Farmer, 1 red for a 2/2 orc. Tap, target land becomes a swamp until its controller's next untap phase. You know, flavorfully, spectacular. Mechanically, it's of some narrow use, probably. I like that it's just a guy and his pig. It's like, I like that they both have one pokey tooth on their lower set of teeth poking out the same corner of their mouth. It's really, you know, when livestock resembles their farmer. Sure. Next we have Hydroblast. That's cool. Hydroblast is cool. Single blue mana for an interrupt. Counter target spell if it's red, or destroy target permanent if it is red. I did a contraction of its, which is not what's written on the card. It says counter target spell if it is red, or target permanent if it is red. So, all right. Hydroblast might be worth more than 5 cents. Goblin Sappers, 1 and a red for a 1/1 goblins. For, oh lord, what does this do? Sorry. For red, and tap, target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. At the end of combat, destroy that creature and Goblin Sappers. Boy, you'd better be winning the game with that one. Or red, tap, target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. At end of combat, destroy that creature. But you get to keep the Sappers, so you can do that terrible thing again the following turn. I don't enjoy any of that. Next up is Norit? Norit? There's 2 T's. Norritt. Who is this? 3 and a black for a 1/1 imp. Tap. This text is so small. Tap. Untap target blue creature. Tap. Force target non-wall creature to attack. If creature cannot attack, destroy it at the end of turn. Use this ability only during target creature's controller's turn before the attack. Cannot target creatures brought under their controller's control this turn. Okay, I am predicting that the oracle text for this, for the second ability, reads target creature attacks this turn if able. If that creature didn't attack, destroy it at the end of turn. I wonder if the timing restriction, the before the combat, is still there. Do I care? Do I care what Norritt has been oracled to? What a character. Look at this guy. I want to know more about Norritt. Why is this random non-legendary imp got like such cool art and a name and such bad abilities? It's a 1/1 for 4. This card sucks. Next we have our Darkar Unicorn. A Darkar, 1 white for a unicorn. It's a 2/2, and tap, add either blue or blue and 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. This mana is usable only for cumulative upkeep. Play this ability as an interrupt. Well, great. You can keep your Mesmeric Trance around for another turn. Woof. Or whatever noise a unicorn makes.
Now that I'm a woman.
Shambling Strider, 4 green for a 5/5 Strider. It says here, beast, I guess. And for green-red, it gets +1/-1 until end of turn. I didn't know they printed a Etherling in green, or red-green, I guess. What an odd thing. And our last card, heyo, Dark Ritual. Single black mana for an interrupt. Add black to your mana pool. I think there was many different arts of this. I don't know if there were many different arts in this set, but this is the one with the guy with the horns about to do some kind of pagan thing. Some sort of dark ritual. Who can say? Well, that's neat. What an odd collection of Magic cards. Some of these you're like, yeah, all right, sure. And some of these you're just sort of like, this is barely a Magic card. In the world where I'm doing a Ice Age draft, which is something I'm unlikely to ever do. I would, if it came up. What would I take here? I mean, Dark Ritual is the swag play, but then what are you doing? You're going to Dark Ritual into a Mind Ravel? Into a Withering Wisps? Like, it's not, you're not really getting a lot of turn 1 value on that. Centaur Archer seems all right. It's a 3/2 for 3, and you can ping out some flyers. Maybe just Shambling Strider. Maybe you just want to get a 5/5. Just make a big 5/5 to try and kill your opponent. Yeah, that's probably the best thing in here. I mean, Norritt combos with Prodigal Sorcerer, if that was an Ice Age, right? You untap a blue creature and then ping again. Yeah, I guess I just take the big green beef. As it turns out, Mesmeric Trance is the rare. We went uncommons, rare, commons. Not that you'd know. And Mesmeric Trance is still worth over $3 for some reason. I blame Commander, that's generally why. The pack as a whole is a little over $6. That Dark Ritual is like 83 cents, so that's cool. I mean, I'm glad I came back to the game, but what a weird place to start. Anyway, thanks whoever gave us that pack of Ice Age. I wish I knew, but unfortunately, like I said, there's no name on it. But it was made by Wizards of the Coast and Garfield Games, and it says a Richard Garfield game on it. So I guess really, you know, when you look at it on sort of a geological timescale, Richard Garfield gave us this pack of Ice Age. So thanks. That's going to do it for the Crack-A-Pack for today. Thank you for joining me. If you feel a desperate urge to send us a pack to crack, you can do so at our P.O. Box. Send it attention Crack-A-Pack. And of course, this show and everything we do is brought to you by you, and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. I've been Graham. Thanks to James. Shoutouts to the editors. We'll talk to you next time.